Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery here. It's a beautiful Monday morning, August 29th, 2022. We get together with our distribution partners most weekday mornings at this time to share strategies, tips, success stories, and provide updates to support each of you. So today, with no further delay, we are announcing the new Guaranteed Business Financing campaign. I'm excited to go through this with you, share some early funding success stories, and make sure that we're supporting you so we can go out, help more small businesses, and generate an adult income for each of you. So we did send out this flyer to each of you over the weekend. Hopefully you have that. We'll get that in your white label drop box as well. You can edit it, of course, with your desired call to action at the bottom. But let's go ahead and go through what the Guaranteed Business Financing Program is. It has some very strong selling points, and then we can briefly review the funding success stories early on. All right, so the Guaranteed Business Financing does offer same-day funding with 0% down. Who should participate? We're looking for entrepreneurs looking for up to 25 million. So understand that anytime we're talking about statistics, success stories, turnaround timeframes, all of these are running through a bank, right? We're not the lender. So you and I are technical advisors. We help small businesses put together their loan packages. We help them become credible enough to get approved. So when you see a hard cap of 25 million, that doesn't mean that you agree to that or I agree to that. That's the maximum that the bank will offer currently for business funding. Now they'll go higher for real estate, which we'll get to in a moment. But nonetheless, 25 million should capture most of the target market that you and I work with. Next, through our direct business lenders, we facilitate access to a multitude of loan options, including SBA 7A, 504, USDA, conventional, and non-conforming financing. Those last two words, hyphenated, are hugely important. If you had any background in mortgages, you know that a lot of times people don't qualify for a traditional mortgage, so they have to go to a non-conforming. So that means that they didn't meet the normal criteria, so it's like a second chance or a special type of financing. Well, that's what this bank is bringing you and I to the marketplace, is non-conforming financing. So if people qualify for mainstream, that's great, but there's going to be some clients that don't, and this provides second chance financing, if you will. We can certainly help clients that have been turned down by other lenders due to special purpose collateral, having a unique business model, or other traditional financing barriers. Of course, our technical advisory team are business paralegals. We all have worked for the SBA and or SBDC, and we're going to help create that loan package, because that's what you and I know. For us to go get business funding, we need to have a loan package. We'll talk more about what's in the loan package momentarily. Those of you that are white label partners, you're going to love this, because the loan package, it's the normal. It's what you and I have always offered, $2,500 for the loan package. And then it's up to you how you want to tweak that. If you take it to the marketplace normally, the client's going to pay you a $2,500 refundable deposit. If you want to tweak that and make that less or make that more, you can. And if you don't want it to be refundable, you can change that. You have the agreement template in your Dropbox. And so you can make the changes as you would like to match your preferred pricing model. What we're doing here in this promotion, you can see, is that we're applying $1,500 of a grant allocation that reduces the client's participation fee. In other words, the cost of getting their loan package down to the $999. Now, for the Guaranteed Business Financing, they are going to be paying that up front. If they don't have $999, we can try to work on some payment arrangements with them, or look to help them borrow the $999. But that's an important point for you to understand. On the Guaranteed Business Financing, they're going to be paying the loan package fee up front. And so if they lack liquidity to be able to do that, then we're going to have to put our heads together and either set up some sort of payment plan for them, or better yet, just go help them get a personal loan to cover that $2,500. There's nothing wrong. Attorneys charge for their services, often a retainer paid up front. Accountants charge for their services. There's nothing wrong with you and I charging up front to build their loan package out. You should not have to be working for free, but you do, as a white label partner, control the pricing. If you want them to pay the full $2,500 up front, that's fine. If you want to reduce it, you can reduce it. All right, so let's scroll down to the bottom of the flyer here. Funds can be used for any business purpose, such as to purchase or construct real estate, buy or start a business. So yes, startup businesses qualify. It can be used for working capital, to refinance debt, even to consolidate merchant cash advances. This is a large multi-billion-dollar lending institution. The money is there. There's no question. And we always, no, I shouldn't say always, we frequently get pessimists that say, well, does this bank really loan money? Hell yes, they do. And that's why we're going to go through some of the funding success stories. But what do you and I know? We need to have a lender compliant loan package to get approved. And that's what you and I do. That's the value proposition that you and I bring. So we help them put together a business plan. We're going to help them create that. What's in a business plan? Well, it states, for one thing, how much capital we need and what we're going to use it for, because it makes a difference. You'll see even over here in the funding success stories, we have some working capital loans, we have some real estate loans, we have equipment finance, and we need to know what the uses of funds are. That's typically identified in the business plan. We need financial projections that show the lender that we'll be able to afford to pay the debt back, because they would really like to be paid back, of course. And then the associated support documentation. So that's what you and I are doing as technical advisors, just like those of us that worked for the SBA previously. We're going to be providing this assistance. All right, so, and we're clarifying, we're going to help them. So talking points. These are some great selling points about this program. Let's go through them briefly. First of all, is we guarantee funding. It is in writing with the client that we guarantee that they will be funded. So there's no risk to them. Guaranteed funding in writing. The funding range is from 1,000. I don't know why you and I would ever waste our time on that, but 1,000 up to 25 million for business loans. Can go higher in real estate, which we'll talk about here towards the bottom of the page. Interest rates start low. Monthly payments, so this is not daily or weekly pay. Short and long-term loans available, because some businesses just need a short injection, others need long-term. We have flexible underwriting, and that's especially important when we talk about non-conforming financing, because if it had very strict underwriting, then it wouldn't be non-conforming. It wouldn't be able to help those that are otherwise being turned down. Most businesses are eligible. Sole proprietors are okay. It always looks better to have an LLC, C Corp, or S Corp, but sole proprietors are okay. The working capital is unrestricted, so they can use it for whatever they want. Startup financing is available, so we always get that question, well, does this work for startups? So keep in mind, through our new bank relationship, there's a number of different funding programs that we can access. So we want to avoid thinking that there's just one bucket of money. There's many different buckets of money that are available through the bank, and through the loan package process, we'll figure out which bucket or buckets the client should be accessing. No or low collateral in some instances, high loan to value financing, and then the equipment financing is great. And this will come into play often when we look at the client's loan package and their business plan. Part of what they're looking to do is maybe to buy a truck or a company vehicle or what have you, or machinery, construction equipment or what have you, heavy duty trucks. It doesn't matter, but equipment financing will probably break out and finance it separately than the working capital funding normally. And so equipment financing is available $0 down. We can get approval in hours, same day funding, and they will finance new and used equipment. From a real estate perspective, really attractive, up to 75 million on real estate. Now, I have a call with one of you today for a project in Las Vegas. That investor is needing, well, I shouldn't say investor, that client is needing 150 million. So we'll be looking for an underwriting exception on that. But normally the bank will go up to 75 million, offers interest-only financing, unrestricted cash outs, and we'll do real estate for nonprofits. And you'll actually see that over here. Where did we have the church? Yeah. So here, small church needed a small amount of funding, 300,000 to purchase real estate. Got that approved, and this was in Orlando. Okay, so that's the flyer. We've shared this with you. If you don't have it, email us at support@businessparalegal. We can make sure you have it, but it should be put in your white label Dropbox. Let's look at a few of the funding success stories. Heavy equipment needed 5 million, was structured under a SBA 7A debt consolidation, reasonable interest rate in Baytown, Texas. Here's a home health care company, 3.7 million funded. These aren't requested amounts, these are funded amounts. In this case, also a 7A with a working capital, 6% interest, 25-year repayment in Maitland, Florida. Radio network needed 1.8 million, also SBA 7A, 6%, 25-year term in California. Bar and lounge, 2.5 million, also 7A, 25-year term in LA. Here's an example of someone that just needed a very humble amount, wanted to go purchase a tow truck, an additional tow truck for his fleet. Great. You know, and those aren't cheap, of course. So 114,000, financed 100% of that. He didn't have to contribute any to that purchase. Low interest rate, nice 5-year term out of Florida. Can we do raw land? Absolutely. Here is just shy of $1 million of raw land purchase. The church I mentioned earlier for real estate purchase, 2.8 million for a warehouse purchase. So sometimes the real estate can fall under an SBA loan, sometimes it won't. That's where we got to really get our arms around and have the business plan to know the right type of funding to go after. Because the SBA will loan for real estate in some instances. So we have to look at, do they qualify for the SBA guarantee or not? Here's a collection agency that just needed a business credit line to be able to handle growth. 64,000 was approved in one day. Here's another equipment purchase for a sanitation company under 200,000, 60-month repayment term in Virginia. Marketing company needed some equipment for 81,000 approved. Another trucking company approved for 70 and approved and funded for 78,000. Here's a working capital loan paid back over 32 months, funded in 4 days for $250,000. Radio network, I guess that's a duplicate, isn't it? Sorry. Construction company, 1.6 million for a land purchase. Nail salon, one of you, Linda, who's not on the training right now, doesn't look like, she deals a lot, I believe, with Vietnamese nail salon owners. So this is going to be a gold mine for her. $250,000 or 260,000 in this case. And then looking at real estate, just going out and buying a single family home that's designed to just be a rental property. Was able to get this done off of stated income, 30-year mortgage for 700,000 in Miami, a really hot market. And then also multifamily. So with that being said, and there's more funding success stories, but just some of you pepper us to death wanting some examples. And so there are some real examples of funded deals. So who has questions on the new guaranteed business financing? All right, so Joseph's asking about the process. So the process is the same. If you're a white label partner, you go into your white label Dropbox. If you don't have your white label Dropbox, let us know, because that should have been provided to you. Email us and ask for it, or text us and ask for it. So you'll go into your white label Dropbox and you'll find an editable agreement template. You'll edit that to be the pricing that you want. You're going to take that to your client. Client is going to sign the contract between you and them. You're going to upload, Joseph, that executed agreement up into Dropbox, and then we'll be able to implement. Now, of course, you're going to be collecting from them the deposit for the loan package. All right, Andre is asking about FICO. So there's multiple different funding programs here. So there's no single answer to any underwriting question that you could ask me, because there are different underwriting criteria for different loan programs through the Guaranteed Business Financing umbrella. So there's not a simple answer. Some of these don't use FICO at all, some do. But this is a new bank relationship that we have. And frankly, we've had it for a few months, but what we wanted to do is to make sure that it worked. And we are confident that it works. You see the funding success stories. And so now we're rolling it out on a large scale. So again, Andre's question is, well, what was the FICO score needed? It depends on the loan package, the use of funds, the specifics. So there's not a generic answer to say, oh, they need a 165 FICO SBSS. For some sources of funds, that's true. For others, that's not true. So that's why we got to put this loan package together. Okay, Al says he doesn't have the flyer. And so what do you need to do? If anyone doesn't have the flyer, then email us, support@businessparalegalcorp.com, and let us know, hey, I'm missing my Dropbox, or I'm missing the flyer, and we can resolve that. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Nikki's asking, yeah, so Nikki, you would change this flyer. You wouldn't use our email address, would you? So Nikki, if you go to your Dropbox, well, we sent everyone this flyer out, but in addition, we'll get it in your Dropbox, but we did email it to everyone over the weekend. So Nikki, what you'll do is you'll edit the flyer and obviously use your requested call to action. If you want them to call you, if you want them to email you, you'd replace this email address. If you want them to go to a landing page, you'd have them go to the landing page, you'd put that. But this is an editable PDF, so you can change the call to action, of course. Sorry for the confusion on that. Andrea is asking about flexible underwriting. And so what we're trying to say is we have a new banking partner that's very aggressive in wanting to loan money. And so there's lots of different loan programs that you and I have access to through this relationship, including some non-conforming financing. So when we use the term flexible underwriting, what that's suggesting is instead of a very rigid, solid, hard to get approved, they're much more flexible. They have more options. And that's what you and I do as technical advisors, Andrea, is work with the client to meet the underwriting criteria to get approved. All right, Ms. Gupta asked about getting clients. And so how you want to generate clients is obviously up to each of you. That's frankly what you bring to the table. But there are a number of proven strategies, and we can just go through those briefly. One of which is you could just frankly do posting on Craigslist, and so that's one option. The second of which is you could develop referral partners. So these are individuals and organizations that already have relationships with small businesses like CPAs, like business attorneys, business bankers, and so forth, and they refer to you. So Craigslist was number one. Referral partners would be number two. Number three, the third option of really an infinite number of ways of generating leads, Ms. Gupta, would be tracking newly formed businesses. You can go most likely to your library, access a free database. Used to be called Sales Genie, Reference USA. Now it's called Data Axle. And you can do queries for free through the library's membership with that database and find newly formed businesses, or frankly, any businesses across the country. You can filter by industry, by location, by size, by revenue, by credit. So that's a good database. And so I really like targeting newly formed businesses. So you can see which businesses were formed in San Francisco last week, and then reach out to them and let them know, hey, congratulations, Tony, on forming your new business. I did want to let you know that we have a special program available to San Francisco-based small businesses to be able to assist them in getting financing to grow. And so you just put your spin on it, and then there you go. But ultimately, keep in mind the expertise that each of you bring to the table is lead generation, right? That's how you make your money, because what you know is you're going to make $2,500 gross income on the front end of each of these, plus whatever it is that you want on the back end. And so you control that, but on the back end, you're probably charging, let's just say, a 10% performance fee. So you're making, that gross income would be $12,500 per client, but you control the pricing and you're generating the income based upon generating these clients, getting them under contract with you. So you have the contract template in your Dropbox, you generate the lead, however you want to generate the lead, you get the client contracted, and you collect their refundable deposit. If you don't want it to be refundable, then change it in the agreement, and then it's not refundable, right? That is up to you, because these clients are contracted with you. All right. Let's see what other questions. Yeah, and so again, I don't want to be too brief, but the development of clients is your expertise. It's what you bring to the table. So many of you have different strategies. It's up to you how you want to do that, but that's your job in all of this. That's what you're paid to do, is to go generate the client, get them under contract. Now, if you just want to be a simple referral partner, you don't want to have to worry about signing contracts or doing any of that. You can make it real simple. You can just simply email us the client's name, phone number, and email, submit that in via email, and we'll take it from there. So that's fine. If you want simple, simple is fine. Just email us the client's name, phone number, and email, and we'll take it from there. All right, so let's see. All right, so Shondel's asking, it's up to you what you're wanting to charge the client for the deposit. And it's up to you, Shondel, what you want to charge them for the performance fee. This is going to fall under the access to capital template, which is campaign 1 of our agreement that we have with you as a white label partner. So it's up to you how you want to approach pricing with a client. All right, so Warren asked, can we do this new program without the refundable deposit? Well, so this program, I mean, you and I have to be paid, Warren, to be able to put this loan package together. And so this is not a 0% upfront. They're going to need to pay you to have the loan package created, which we'll do the work, but they are going to need to pay you to create the loan package. And that pricing is normally $2,500, but you'll see in your white label partnership agreement that as a white label partner, you're able to change that pricing if you want. Now we're splitting that 50-50, right? So if you charge $2,500, your net income is $1,250. Our net income is $1,250, but we'll do the work on this program. All right, Warren, let me know if that answered your question or not. Yeah, we've got to get away. If you want free, we've got free, right? We've got the free 4-week funding program. Many of you signed up for the new affiliate program where clients are getting free. There's a different option that's free. And so if what you're wanting to take to the marketplace is free, free still exists, but it's not this. If you're looking at bringing the guaranteed business financing that guarantees them funding, that has the opportunity for you to generate immediate upfront income, then this is probably the better platform. All right, so who else has questions on the new guaranteed business financing? Again, as a white label partner, go to your Dropbox that we've provided. If you don't have the Dropbox, email us and we'll figure out why you don't have it. But go to your Dropbox and you'll see that there's a Word document, an editable Word document that is the agreement. And you'll modify that agreement the way you want to. You'll get the client under contract. You will collect normally you'd collect a $2,500 refundable deposit from them. You'll upload the executed agreement into Dropbox. We'll invoice you for our half. We'll do all the work of implementation. Client will get funding. Client will pay you whatever performance fee that you put in their contract. 10% is normal. So let's say they went and got 100,000, they'd pay you 10,000. They got 200,000, they'd pay you 20,000, right? It's whatever you have in the agreement. This all falls under, in our white label partnership agreement, campaign 1. It's just a slight variation of campaign 1. All right, so who has questions on this? I think if you pitch it correctly, and obviously, honestly, I think you're going to get a ton of positive momentum. When we have a new program that will go up to 25 million, offers funding as soon as same day, we guarantee in writing funding so the client's not taking any risk. We have access to low interest rates, long-term repayment terms, flexible underwriting. I mean, it's very attractive. Very attractive. And so if you're wanting to post this like Nikki on social media, or you're wanting to post it on Craigslist, I think you have your talking points here between this flyer and the funding success stories. Obviously, you need to direct them back to you for responses, but I think you have all the talking points that you need, whether you're posting on social media and or on Craigslist or wherever else you want. This tells the story. Yesterday, we put together a 6-minute YouTube video that we sent out to all of you that are white label partners. So if you wanted a brief client overview that could be used, you can use it or modify it. It's 6 minutes long, and it's great for the client story. All right, so let's see. Yeah, and Pauline's asking, so if you want the $2,500 loan package fee to be refundable, then you make it refundable in the agreement. If you don't want to make it refundable, in other words, it's non-refundable, that is up to you. I can tell you in the marketplace, normal pricing for a loan package fee is about $5,000. And that's not refundable. So for you and I to have this at half that market price, plus offer them to refund it back after funding is great. Now, a couple of you say, well, why would I want to refund the deposit back? Because that's reducing your profitability. But in truth, you control the performance fee. You could increase the performance fee by enough that it absorbs this cost. Therefore, it's well perceived by the client. Oh, okay, I see there's a refundable deposit to build a loan package, but I get it back. But in fact, in your case, you've built it into the performance fee, so it's not reducing your profitability. Same for marketing expense. I know a number of you are building into your pricing model referral fees. So you get these referrals from bankers, from accountants, from others. And so you want to give them the economic incentive to refer to you. Well, does that have to reduce your profitability? Absolutely not. You can build that into your pricing structure. In other words, you increase the performance fee by enough to absorb those costs, so you're maintaining your profit margin. All right, so we've covered a lot, and we've got a big group today, which is exciting. Who has questions on this? If you don't have your flyer, what are you going to do? Email support, because we should have sent it out to you over the weekend. I apologize if it didn't go to you, but it should have gone to you. We can also put it up in your white label drop box. So we want to make sure that each of you have this flyer. We want to make sure that each of you have the funding success stories. Any questions, comments, concerns anyone has? So this is technically a new campaign through a new bank, new lending partner that doesn't change the other. So it's like when you and I go into a restaurant, right? If you go into a barbecue restaurant, do you want ribs? Do you want chopped beef? Do you want barbecue chicken? Just because they offer a special on barbecue shrimp, that doesn't mean that the other items have gone away. So this is a new offering that I think will probably become your number one go-to. Why? Because I think you're going to have high conversions. We've got great success stories. We guarantee the funding, so the client has no risk, and it's going to put money in your pocket up front. I see some of you, and I almost shake my head. We have some referral partners that just seem to not want to be paid for doing work, and that's crazy. It's going to be very difficult to sustain a business if you're not getting money in. So this way you're getting money up front, which is fair. The client's getting benefit up front. They're getting the loan package put together within 7 days. We'll take care of that for you. So we're not pushing that to you. You do not have to develop the loan package for the client. Any questions, comments, concerns on the new guaranteed business financing? If you need individual support, definitely email us. But we're excited. I think this is exactly what the marketplace is looking for. Timothy's asking about the Sba Express. Yeah, so the Sba Express is continuing to be offered. The Sba Express has some limitations though, doesn't it? The Sba Express requires a 165 Fico SBSS, which is reasonable, but do all small businesses have that? No. Secondly, the Sba Express is capped at 150,000. You and I are going to run into a lot of small businesses that want more money than just 150,000. This has a higher upside. And then also this new bank relationship provides access to non-conforming financing, where the Sba Express is through a different bank and they only do conforming financing. So still available. You can order the chicken or the ribs or the beef. No one's taking anything off the menu, but I do think that this will probably be your go-to. Obviously, the client's going to need to have some wherewithal. If they're stone cold broke, then them looking at a $2,500 refundable deposit is going to be a barrier. Well, what could we do if that's the case? Well, if you want to adjust that $2,500 some, you could do that. If we need to work with you and work with the client to set up some payment arrangements, we could look at doing that, or we just go help them get a loan. I was talking to Ms. Gupta this morning. She's on she's out of California, San Francisco, very expensive area. She's expecting some explosive growth and a little tight on cash flow. So that's fine. That's not unusual for early stage small businesses. So if we need to get someone financing a loan to cover the refundable deposit, then we can always look at that as an option too. All right. Anyone else have questions, comments, concerns on the guaranteed business financing? All right. Remember, email support@businessparalegalcorp.com if you need further assistance. We should have already emailed you both of these. If you don't have them, let us know. We'll get them to you. And it's a great opportunity to help people. We're almost to the end of August, but we do have a couple work days left. If you're a white label partner, you've promised to help at least 8 clients a month. I think you'll get some real traction with this. Let us know how we can help. See you back tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.